Alrighty, welcome back to another Algebra 1 state test review video. Today we're talking about standard F.BF.2. We're finally getting into functions. If you remember when I talked about the blueprint for the test, you might remember that I said that functions make up roughly about 50% of the test sometimes. So these are an important set of standards to know. So let's hop right in. The first 5 terms of a sequence are shown: 4, 12, 36, 108, 324. Write an explicit function to model the value of the nth term in the sequence such that f of 1 is equal to 4. All this says, if you remember when we did arithmetic and geometric sequences, all this is saying is write a rule. Okay? So, the first thing we have to identify is this arithmetic or is it geometric? And that comes down to, is the common difference additive or multiplicative? So, let's test additive first. The difference between 4 and 12 is 8. The difference between 12 and 36 is 24. So that's already different, so that doesn't work. Let's test geometric. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 36 divided by 12 is also 3. 108 divided by 36 is also 3. So we can see that this is a geometric sequence. So what does that mean? Our geometric sequence is a of n times, a of n equals, a of n equals, okay, excuse me 1 second, I have to sneeze. Alright, apologies. A of n equals a1 times r to the n minus 1. A of n is the value of the nth term in the sequence. That's what we're looking for. In this case, it's the same as f of n. A1 is the first term of the sequence. Okay? Our first term of the sequence is 4. The rate is what you need to multiply by to get from one thing to the next. Here our rate is 3. And then n minus 1 is your exponent. So f of n equals 4 times 3 to the n minus 1. Biggest thing to remember, a rule always has n in it. A rule always has n in it. Okay? Always. Question 2. The first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence are given: 27, 32, 37, 42, ... etc. What is the 60th term of the sequence? Okay. So, our first thing we need to do is we need to identify the common difference. We're told this is an arithmetic sequence, so we know it's arithmetic. To go from 27 to 32, you add 5. To go from 32 to 37, you add 5. To go from 37 to 42, you add 5. Okay, so our common difference is 5. What we also need, just like in the geometric sequence, we need the A1. That is the first term of the sequence. The first term of the sequence here is 27. Now, we do need to write a rule in order to find the 60th term. Arithmetic sequences are a little bit different. The formula for an arithmetic sequence, a of n equals d times n minus 1 plus a1, where a of n is the value of that term of the sequence, d is your common difference, and a1, just like in the geometric sequence, is your first term. Okay? Nope, nope. Oh, that's better. I didn't know I could do that. Alright, so let's write a rule. A of n equals. Our d, as we said, our common difference is 5 times n minus 1 plus a1, which is plus 27. This is our rule, okay? We could expand it out, but we don't really have to. What is the 60th term of the sequence? Now, what you could do here is you could either plug in 60 for n and just put this all into your calculator. So actually, let's do that. We'll use that with Desmos. Okay. 5 times 60 minus 1 plus 27 is 322. That is the 60th term of the sequence. Or you could type in your rule. A of n equals d times n minus 5 times n minus 1 plus 27. And you could have it make a table and put in 60 for the 60th term, which would also give you 322. And if you're really, 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 really stuck, right? And I mean really stuck. Like you cannot remember this at all. There is no shame in doing this. It is just very time consuming. You could go to your scrap paper. Let me go find a piece of scrap paper. Do I have a piece of scrap paper lying around? You would think that I do. You would be surprised to know that I apparently do not. You could take your piece of scrap paper and you could just list down, okay, the first term, our first term was 27. Our second term was 32. Our third term was 37. Fourth is 42. And just keep adding 5 until you get eventually to the 60th term. Just as my old geometry teacher liked to say, it will just take you, 10,000 years. But you can do that. That is a legitimate strategy. Oh, that's my old geometry notebook too, hilariously. All right. Question 3. A sequence is shown. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Write a function that represents the nth term of the sequence where f of 1 equals 0. Let me give you a small hint. Any sequence that starts with 0 or includes 0 must be arithmetic. Why is that? Because, remember, geometric sequences have to do with multiplication. Anything times 0 is 0. So a geometric sequence that involves 0 would never be able to be anything but 0. It would just be 0 times 0 times 0 times 0 times 0, so on and so forth. So this must be an arithmetic sequence. So let's find our common difference. From 0 to 2, we add 2. From 2 to 4, we add 2. Our common difference is 2. Our d is 2. Our first term of the sequence, they tell you that, f of 1 equals 0. So remember our formula, a of n equals d times n minus 1 plus a1. We're just going to fill in what we have. A of n equals 2, that's our d, times n minus 1 plus 0. You don't write the plus 0, you don't, in your final rule, because writing plus 0 is redundant. So you could just leave it as a of n equals 2 times n minus 1. And that'll do it. Let's go to question 4. The number of bacteria on a microscope slide doubles every hour. There are initially 4 bacteria present. Initially means starting. Create an explicit function to model the growth. So, this is again a sequence, okay? When you talk about modeling growth, you're thinking about sequences. Question is, what kind of sequence is it? Well, we're told we start with 4. And the only words we have of increase are the fact that it doubles. What does doubles mean? It means you're multiplying by 2. That means that would make this a geometric sequence, because you're multiplying by 2. So A of n equals A1 times r to the n minus 1. Your A1, your starting value, is 4. Your R, your rate, is 2 because it doubles. So A of n equals 4 times 2 to the n minus 1. And that would just be your function. That's your sequence. It is important, because they will not give you this on your reference sheet. It is important that you know this formula and you know the arithmetic sequence formula, because they love questions about sequences. So it is important that you try to remember these. Alright, that's it for this standard. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to let me know. And good luck on your test.